all doing? Welcome to another dirty episode of Three Men in a Podcast. I'm Claudio Capri from Dirty Four Podcast and Offbeat Comedy. And then we have Luigi C, who is part of the Agree to Disagree show. He does his podcast, mainly he asks guests, hey, why did Logo's sister give Logo a hand job? And then we have the Ange from the Ange TV show, who has a lot of content going on his channel, also The Unknown, and he's trying to figure out about life. So catch them on here. So
can I clear something up?
Yes.
First of all, I never said that's toxic masculinity, and it's funny that we're going to be discussing it tonight. You're a dirty man.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, just very quick, if you're on Facebook, just go on to our page right now, and there's a red square called subscribe. Press it because we have amazing episodes every bi-weekly, and then soon, we'll have it weekly. And join us in the comments because, as Luigi said, we're going to be talking about toxic masculinity. That's going to be a fun one. To people who are watching, drop a hello, give a thumbs up. Let's all have some fun here. And there we go. Before we continue, I just want to say this. So this past week, I lost a friend, and I'm just going to say her first name, Kim. I'm not going to give her last name because out of respect. And she died of an overdose of heroin. And the news that I got was because Kim was so depressed about what's going on. So she took her life. And it's been she wanted help. She wanted, she was asking people, can you help me? I'm not doing well. And people just kept saying, ça va bien aller. And she kept, asking for help. So then, she took her own life. But folks, at what cost is this going to happen? At what cost are we going to keep losing people? Instead of, just so we could, obey this curfew. The lockdown, sure, say whatever you want about the lockdown, say whatever you want about these rules, but a lot of lives that are not COVID related are taken, and question is, how long is this going to go? So, and again, if you want to point fingers and tell me that Claudio, what you said was rude, say whatever you want, but I hope this goes out to Logo, and I hope he understands that he's killing a lot of lives. He's taking a lot of lives. They are not COVID related. It's been a year, and a lot of people have been suffering. So, I understand that we have to be careful. We do. We really do. But at what point do we have to do this? At what point do we have to be careful with? How long can we keep being inside like animals? Like, how long do we have to keep this up? At what end is this gonna keep going at? So listen, believe whatever you want, okay? But ça va bien aller, I think it's all a bunch of bullshit, okay? Because it's been a year now, and we're still in the same fucking place. We're still in the same fucking moment. We were like, people are waking up and like, hey, you know what? They lose their jobs, all right, and they have to be stuck inside. Meanwhile, good people are obeying the rules. They're staying inside, socially distancing. Meanwhile, we have these idiots outside that they don't listen to. They travel and they go behind, the backs and they just get together. They don't respect the rules. And then there's a curfew on top of that. People who are trying to obey the rules, they're the ones who get punished. And also, may I add that hospitals now, you cannot even go see a doctor unless it's, COVID related. Because also, let's just be real here. They also don't treat you unless it's COVID related, right? So how many cancer patients are on hold right now? How many operations are on hold right now?
Well,
So again,
it's a classic. The cure is worse than the disease.
exactly. So again, Legault, look, I think whatever you want, but I hope he resigns because he's really, really killing mental health.
Yeah,
That's all I want to say about this. Like, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of Legault right now,
Can I
and
say
it's hurting
something?
me.
yeah.
Can I
Go
say
ahead.
something on this? First of all, Claudio, I want to send the condolences to Kim and her
Me
family,
too,
and
Claudio.
and to you, knowing her as a friend. Um, so that's just one, right? That's a small drop in the bucket. So my point, and I don't know if you guys really quickly, if you saw, Angelo sent me that video that completely shattered my heart in two, of the father that did a
Mhm.
three and a half minute video about his six going on 7-year-old son that says, is this real life? Are you happy? Is this life? Am I going to be able to play with my friends like in the movies? And you saw the torment and the anguish of this father not knowing what to say to his son. Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny, we're talking about toxic masculinity. The
Mhm.
father was so raw in this video, and his emotions, because he doesn't know what to do anymore. He doesn't, and he says, this is my 6 or 7-year-old son that's literally telling me life sucks. And so
Yeah.
what I want, and I don't want to go off on a rant, I just want to say, guys, we've talked about this in the past, and even more so in light of this news that Claudio shared with us, and also this video from this father, that if you just, if you're feeling down, guys, and I've been there, I've shared it on this, all three of us have been there. Try to seek help, guys. Try to seek help. Talk to a friend.
Yeah.
Um,
There's
if you have,
resources out there.
yes, there is. If you're lucky enough to have insurance at work, and there's these resources that you could speak to someone, please do. Please do, because,
Yeah.
like I said before, right now the cure is worse than the disease, and we know we all disagree with all this. It's getting out of hand, like the father said in the video. Ça fait un an.
Mhm.
He says, I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy for you, Monsieur Legault, mais c'est suffit. Ça suffit. Ça fait un an. It's 1 year. It's enough. We've sacrificed enough.
Yeah.
So
Enough.
that's all I'm going to say on that.
Enough.
At the end of the day, guys, like we're saying, what's worse now? What's worse? Like we're looking at the cases going down, and then we're looking at our mental state, and our mental state is going, it's just going way off the charts. So at the end of the day, what's a worse risk right now? Catching the COVID, or committing suicide, or not making it, or being on drugs because we have no. Because a lot of people want to be happy. Then for some people, that's the only way to be happy. You understand? Like, we all deal with our stresses and on our depression like differently and everything, but like, this is getting out of hand right now. And I want to comment on what Luigi was saying. Basically, the video of the 6-year-old kid. Look, when a 6-year-old says he doesn't want to live anymore because life isn't interesting, like there's no purpose to life, that's when you know we have a problem here.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, after the pandemic, he's gonna have his. He's gonna be full. His sleeves are gonna be full. He's gonna have his hands full with all the problems with the economy, the dying restaurants downtown, the people that want to commit suicide, the people that don't have jobs, the people that are enduring racism, because we all know there is systematic racism. There was another case at Joliet where they called. Anyways, I'm not even get into it, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like today, I heard that they were asking for an only white nurse. You know what I mean? Like, you just got it in 2021. You wouldn't think this would even be an issue. It's unbelievable.
So before we continue, I just want to say this, Legault, from the bottom of our hearts, resign. Please resign. For the love of God. I'm not here. Like, I don't want to start. I'm not going to start anything. I'm not going to be, Legault, if you could listen, resign, because you're putting a lot of people at risk, and this is happening, and we're supposed to be moving forward, but instead that that you messed up. Now what are you gonna do? You're gonna go on language laws. I don't want to get into this. All I'm saying is that I am ashamed to have a premier known as like heck. I'm ashamed. I don't know about you guys. You can all message me and saying, "Hey, what the fuck is that?" And this is what I'm feeling right now, and it's come to this point. And one more thing, he has to stop smirking when he's on live, because this is a disgrace. He is talking to the public. He is talking to Quebec. He is giving a message, and all he could say is whenever he talks, he has to smirk. It has to be enough. Enough is enough. I'm tired of that. And you know what? And just him always talking, he has to look at his two other people, and you have to make sure that what he says is right. It is enough. We need someone to step up and tell him enough is enough. He is putting this province to shame. That's what it's coming down to. And how far can we take this? How far? And he wants to now focus on language because he knows he messed up. As I mentioned, enough is enough. We need someone who's going to fucking step up, and we need someone who knows what has to be done for Quebec. Enough on focusing on this language issue. Enough on fucking saying ça va bien aller. Enough onto saying that hold on a little bit longer because there's no fucking idea. We need someone who's gonna fucking tell him, listen, enough is enough. I'm tired of this. We need a new premier. And Legault, please, from the bottom of my heart, step down. And I hope that the people who are running for opposite parties, Dominic, wake up. Guys, it's time. That's all my political rant I wanted to say a little bit. Sorry about that, guys.
Awesome.
We need change, and we need it soon.
Audio 2024.
We needed the Ange clap at the bottom right.
Yeah. But guys, I want to say this actually ties in a lot to toxic masculinity, because the thing is, Legault, unlike some other people like René Lévesque, he was able to admit defeat when they didn't win the referendum and everything. Whereas Legault, he first of all, he never admits his mistakes, and he'll never admit when he's wrong. Okay, so you know the expression, you got to lose before you win. Well, there you go. He doesn't. To him, it doesn't exist. He's the perfect man. This guy is basically what's that word to say? Like you think you're amazing, but you're doing terrible.
Well, he lives. He has a Napoleon.
He's delusional. He's delusional.
He's delusional. He has a Napoleon complex. And do you know that they came out with a document saying how well they've managed the pandemic, and that I read today that they took it off because logistically on the surface doesn't look good because of the 10,500 deaths in COVID. So that's how well they've managed this. That they were voted the worst province to handle the pandemic. But here he comes. He thinks it's a good idea for his cabinet to come out with a letter or document saying how well they've managed the pandemic. But honestly, guys, I don't even feel like talking about this anymore because, unfortunately, Claudio, I've gone. You know how many rants I've gone off. And anyway, listen. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but it's all for none. It's all for none. It's all for
exactly, Dominic. It's time for you to step up. Guys, if we know her, just help her get because I'm telling you, we're going in a deep fucking hole. Question is, are we going to be getting out of it? And you know what? At this point, Claudio. No, we won't.
We're not. We're not, and he's going to get reelected. Guys, get prepared. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Right.
There's not enough of us to reelect him. There's not. When I say us as Anglophones, the Francophones are going to vote for him. That's the only option they have. Guys, forget it. I'm telling you, don't even waste your energy or time anymore. Exactly. It's unfortunate. It really is. It sucks. Yeah. But it doesn't matter. He could literally do anything like Trump says. He could go on René Lévesque Boulevard, ironically, or in St. Catherine, let's say that's empty, shoot someone in broad daylight, and they're going to still put him in power. It's the God honest truth. He's not losing, guys.
No, he's not.
I'm sorry.
Guys, and
so let's not even talk about it. Let's not waste another minute.
Exactly. So folks, so that's all I wanted to say, and that had to go with the friend that I lost. So my heart goes out to her family. Again, I'm not gonna say her last name because out of respect for them. Again, if you need help, reach out. Do not be embarrassed. Do not say, hey, is it okay if I could talk to you? And if the person you're reaching out to doesn't want to hear you, you know that person, just ignore them. But seek help and seek that you're going to be okay and just talk. Because at this point, what else do we have?
All right. So
Yeah.
let's move on to tonight's subject because we have three men in a podcast, right?
Yeah.
And us three men, we thought it would be a good idea to talk about this subject that, for whatever reason, has come to light, and everybody's talking about it. And since we do have three toxic masculinity here, three toxic male co-hosts of this podcast, we thought it would be a good idea to discuss this and see if, what you guys think, and our opinion, the three of us, we may agree or disagree. That's just a little bit of a little thing for my show, on some of these subjects. So what we thought would be a fun thing to do, or an in-depth look at what is, in the terms of study of social sciences, what is considered toxic masculinity. And we're going to look at the top 10 toxic masculinity behaviors. And this is where we invite you to put in your comments, your questions, and what you think about what we're going to discuss. All right, are we ready? First of all, and first of all, I want to see everybody. We have quite a turnout this evening.
Yeah.
Erica Taraborelli, Tony Cheech, my good friend, Emily, Sal, Tom Sim. Who else did we see? So many people
Mel.
tonight
Yeah,
already.
we have Mel.
Mel,
And then
yes,
also-
Yep.
yeah, and
Yep.
on Facebook we have Stephanie Murga from Vegas, Mike Gamache. How y'all doing? If y'all on Facebook, get onto YouTube so we could see the comments slightly better and give a thumbs up. And let's all.
So here we go, guys.
Yeah.
Here is in terms of the study of social sciences, here is what the meaning of toxic masculinity. It refers to a traditional cultural masculine norms that can be harmful to men, women, and society overall. This concept of toxic masculinity does not condemn men or male attributes, okay, but rather emphasizes the harmful effects of conformity to certain traditional masculine idea behaviors, such as dominance, self-reliance, and competition. I didn't think that was bad. But anyway, toxic masculinity is thus defined by adherence to traditional male gender roles that consequently stigmatize and limit the emotions boys and men may comfortably express while elevating other emotions such as anger. It is marked by economic, political, and social expectations that men seek and achieve dominance. First of all, what do we think about just this meaning? Jesus Christ, it's long.
Wow.
But should we even try to tackle that, or just go on to the 10 subjects here what they say? And I took this from a publication online, the top 10 toxic masculinity behaviors. Are we ready?
Yeah, we're ready to go. Yeah.
Being stoic. Men are constantly given the message that they must be self-reliant, independent, physically tough. Men are told that to be this way, they will be successful in terms of business, society, and finding a partner. Being vulnerable will cause men to be ridiculed. Okay, so can I start?
Yeah, go ahead,
Please,
Luigi.
please.
I don't know. Since when did self-reliant and independent and physically tough be terrible attributes? That's all I'm going to say. Since when? What's happening in society that now, and this goes with my theory, I think we're too bored because then we invent stuff. But and right now, and the way things are going, men are not vulnerable anymore. But if there's a man that's vulnerable, like we have been, and we're only at episode 4, has anyone ridiculed us that we're so vulnerable, guys, that we've shared stories about being
No.
depressed and having anxiety and relationship problems? Has anybody ridiculed you guys?
No.
No,
Okay.
not really.
Okay, so since when did self-reliance, independent, and physically tough? Could someone help me here?
Okay, Ethan Attracts has a question. He says, how is confidence coming across as toxicity?
I wish I knew, Atrax. I wish I knew. But this is being stoic, meaning that I don't know which world where they came up with this, that men could be ridiculed for being vulnerable. Guys, I could tell you, I have no shame.
No.
I'm vulnerable. I'm vulnerable. I'm
Yeah.
vulnerable to my wife. I tell her everything when I'm feeling down, when I'm feeling depressed, when I'm feeling anxious, when I'm feeling whatever. And you know what? I even talk to my friends about it, my guy friends, and we talk about it, how we feel.
Yeah.
There's never any ridicule between us. Never.
No.
We
For-
do
for-
it between we do it between us three on air for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, Luigi, you know what? All these things you're saying about being stoic, the man has to cook, the man has to be self-reliant. These are all things to me is an old school look at. Like maybe my parents, my grandparents, when they were growing up, it was like that's the way it is, right? The man does everything, the woman stays home, does that. But I just think it's changing now. Now it's 2021. Yes, there's times that you do get ridiculed. Why don't you do this? Why don't you cook for yourself? Or, all those things about age and gender, and it's a lot of bullying with that. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm a straight shooter, right? If I'm not the person that cooks, I won't cook. That's fine. Maybe I'll do other stuff, right? Maybe I'll do the work around the house. Maybe I'll do the dishes. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like, this is like, to me, it doesn't mean, like, I don't see like why you have to have gender roles. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, we're in 2021.
Exactly.
And now the studies are showing that the women are usually the breadwinners.
Yeah.
And the men are staying home with the children. So it's like we're completely breaking those stereotypes in 2021. So I don't know what you think about it, Claudio.
You know what? You're both bring up important points. Like again, like those are old school ways. Where gender roles were assigned. Like men have to go to work, men have to do this, and then women stay home. They take care of cleaning the house and cooking. It's 2021. You know what? When I have a girlfriend, I'll be like, hey, babe, you know what? I'll admit, look, babe, you know what? I'm not the best cook, but hey, let's do it together. You know what? I'll clean the dishes. I'll clean the house. All right. Hey, you know what? If I meet a girl that that has a job that's better paying than mine, awesome. Okay, cool. Because in this day and age, you cannot rely on just one person who pays everything. All right, everything is divided.
No, exactly.
So no wonder my dad back in the day he thought he had a heart attack, and he goes because he was having a burnout because he was doing he was doing everything. He was working and then he had to come home and it was and then my mom was usually the one staying home. But today, it's changed. And you know what? Do I think it's for the better? Absolutely.
Well, so here's the thing, right? It's changed naturally over time, right? Gender roles have switched. But let's see. I have a problem with one of these things: self-reliant. Guys, I don't know about you. Okay, I'm the only one that's married. The three of us. What's wrong? You telling me a woman doesn't want a self-reliant man, an independent man? Okay, let me explain to you something. When I got married, okay, when I was planning to get married, I was living at home. I had lost my mom, so I was. My mom did everything for me, right? Being the youngest of 5 children, Sicilian immigrant family. My mom did everything for me, and I have no shame to do it. Guys, I did nothing. All right. So my mom passes away. I meet my future wife, and I did nothing, guys. I didn't even know how to open up a washing machine. So one day I had no clothes, and I went up to my eldest sister, that's like a mother to me, and I said, Enza, can you wash my clothes?
Give me a sec. Louis didn't know how to do washing.
I didn't.
Hey, hold on. Wait. All right.
No. Yeah, you can mark that down. Okay. And like I said, I'm being vulnerable here, right? So I'm not a toxic. Long story short, she tells me, you know what, Lou, no, I'm not going to do it for you. I'm not your mother, but you know what? I'm going to teach you how to do these things and some other stuff that's simple, because one day you're going to thank me for it. Because one day you're going to thank me. And now when I look back, the strong woman that I married, you think she would have accepted the fact that I know how to do zero in the house, guys?
No.
Okay, but we still have really much our gender roles, traditional gender roles, meaning that she does most of the cooking. She does all the cooking. Sorry, she does most of the cleaning. I help her, but I do my clothes and I help her around in the house. I do everything outside. We really have, but we make it work.
Yeah.
Right. So, self-reliant and independent. I don't know. First of all, no partner should be dependent or dependent on their partner. Okay, because you know what happens if you don't know nothing. That partner happens to die or leaves you, then you're left with your thumb up your ass, and you have no idea what the fuck to do.
Exactly.
What does Tom say?
He said, I think automation is robbing men of historically manly jobs and leaving a lot of us without a way to feel like men. It's literally what Fight Club was talking about.
So well said. So well said, Tom. So well said. It's true, because the traditional role of a man has changed. And it is, in my opinion, the feminizing of the man. Is that a good thing? I don't, but we're going to get into. We have a lot to cover here. So number two,
exactly.
guys.
Yeah.
Number two is being promiscuous.
Me.
Typically, yeah.
Promiscuous girl.
Promiscuous girl. Typically, men will be praised by other men for sexual conquest. There is a well-known double standard regarding perceptions of male versus female promiscuity, with men being praised by their peers and called studs, while rejecting women who have multiple partners and branding them sluts. I'll let you guys start on this one, then I'll give you my.
Go ahead, Claudio.
And
see
once you
No, go
go
ahead,
ahead.
go
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Too polite. There's no
I don't know.
toxic masculinity here.
I have honestly, I don't know what to say about that. So, Ange, why don't you go ahead and say, and maybe,
Can you repeat that, Luigi?
yeah, repeat that, Luigi. Yeah.
Being promiscuous, basically, if a woman has
So
multiple
seducing.
no, if a woman has multiple partners, she's considered a slut. If a man has multiple partners,
Oh.
he's considered a stud.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, you see, okay. Now I can answer this because now I know what it is.
Are you guys paying attention to me or what? What's going on?
Yeah,
over
I'm
here?
paying attention to you. I'm just trying to choose my words wisely. Okay, so here's the thing. Like,
Sorry, hold on.
what?
One of my
Like
favorite
Jeffrey
comics.
says, it's easy. David from Fatal Switch. That is wow. Okay.
Jim Jeffries
That
is amazing.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good. All right.
So okay, so let me go with this. So honestly, I had a bit of I don't know, like I had a bit of a problem with that. Even when I was younger, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like a lot of people were saying like, it's like, oh my god, Jajinda, she's sleeping with fucking every week. She's sleeping with 10 men, and then you have a guy at Jajindo who you'd hear at Milano's go, me every fucking night, me I'm scoffing this girl. So that's the, and I think it has something to do with pride. Like Jajindo is gonna look like a guy goes, me I fuck girls every night, and then you have Jajinda.
wow.
She would be like, but me, my asshole's loose, So that's the thing. So even when I was younger, I had a problem with this because I'm like, it should be whatever. If a man sleeps with women and in like a span of a week sleeps with 20 girls, and Jajinda sleeps with, all right, let them be. Like why do you have to categorize this as, she's a slut, she sleeps with 20 men, or takes it in the mouth, or but Jajindo, he's fucking
or
sleeping.
do like Tom. For the record, he loves sluts.
There we go.
Eight to the track says, here's the thing about it. It's not the guys that say that about women. It's usually other girls slut shaming. Guys,
Yeah,
this
that's
view is so antiquated. Maybe it was true years back. I would say decades back, but it's no longer that.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Promiscuity runs afoul within women and men. I'm sorry. Okay. So it takes two to tango. So if there's and this thing that women are looked at as sluts and men are looked at studs, it's really antiquated. I don't think, honestly, this has no merit on this list. Honestly, it really doesn't.
To me, Luigi, look, whether you're a woman and you sleep around with a lot of guys, or you're a guy and you sleep around with a lot of women, it doesn't matter the gender. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be this double standard, like Claudio was saying. You know what I mean? If you sleep with a lot of people, you sleep with a lot of people, period. And that's the reputation you're going to have. It doesn't really matter whether you're a guy or a girl. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I don't understand why predominantly women are considered sluts, whereas men, they're considered studs. I think it's just because of like a boys thing. Oh my God, you did that, girl. Good for you.
But you know what?
It's like, it's a different thing.
But like Sal says, it's so true. At least half the guys that brag are doing nothing, and it's so true. So is it really, Is it really the truth of what a lot of these guys brag that they're studs?
But then David has a good point here. Slut is reserved for a girlfriend fucking all your guy friends. So that's another.
Well, okay, but now I understand. But now we're getting into the nitty-gritty details.
Yeah, exactly.
Of this. But I think the bottom line for me is that I don't think promiscuous really is not reserved for a certain sex today. I'm sorry. So that one again, I will take it out. Okay. Next
one.
Championing heterosexuality as the unalterable norm. Many men are programmed to react negatively to the concept of homosexuality as it is a sign of deviating from traditional male stereotype. Through popular rhetoric and from an early age when boys are learning about gender roles, men are taught to be homosexual, that to be homosexual is to be less masculine.
Okay.
The only thing that's coming to me right now is when Tony Soprano was talking to Dr. Melfi
Yeah.
in season 6 after Vito died, and Tony Soprano's like, he's a fag. But you know what? I completely disagree with that. Okay, because
Okay.
listen, you know what?
This is interesting. Go ahead.
Because I completely disagree with that. Because you know what? Men could do whatever they want. If a guy loves another guy, good for him. If they're both happy.
Does it make him less masculine?
No.
So there we go. We just destroyed another list.
Exactly. Because as I mentioned, look, listen, people could do whatever they want behind closed doors. Whether it's a man or a man, woman or a woman, man or a woman. Look, to me, gay people don't bother me. Because some of my friends are gay, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. I hung out with gay people, and cool. All right. Well, if you're both are happy, that's why is it gonna be less masculine, for a guy to love with another guy,
But I really want to know, I mean, these things. I took this, of course, from an article online. It was a feminist. It was a feminist. The logic is in the past. Look at Claudio.
God damn,
it's just to see the point of view of this was a publication from a feminist website, just to see how we are viewed. Okay, this is what common knowledge or pop culture is giving definitions to, and giving rise to this new toxic masculinity, and that boys should be raised as girls or choose their sex, and it's all intertwined in here. This is the type of thinking that I believe is having a huge impact on pop culture, and in fact is having a huge impact on our children because they're so vulnerable at those young ages.
That's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, our parents, as much as we want to believe this isn't true, our parents tell us, you got to get married to a woman, you got to be Catholic, you got to go to church, you got to do this, you got to do that. So we're brainwashed early on. I know a lot of people are not going to like what I'm saying, but it's kind of true. You know what I mean? At a young age, when you plant a seed at a young age, it's hard. Like, only now I'm starting to think, wow, was Jesus really real? Like, you know what I mean? Like, only now I'm starting to question my religion. You know what I mean?
I understand, Ange, but wait, I'm sorry, Claudio, but what you want now, the difference is that now our kids are being indoctrinated at school. So no matter what they see at home, once they start going to school, and I see the way the younger generation that are coming out of school, that they think all of this is natural and everything's okay, and it's okay to choose your fucking sexuality, and it's okay to choose whatever, and everything's okay, and it's all rainbows and butterflies and God knows what else. So it doesn't matter what your parents. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what your parents. Emily, yes, I do. I'm the only one that has kids. I have an 8-year-old boy and a 12-year-old boy.
Emily, you met me once, and I told you I have no kids and I'm married. So
sorry, Claudio. What you wanted to add something? Till we move to the next one.
Yes, I was gonna say exactly. Like what Ange said. Like our parents. Like I remember when I was younger, my dad would be like, "Oh, you better get married to a girl, huh? You better no homosexual, huh?" And then he holds a whip in his hand. I'm like, "Oh,
is that true, Claudio, or are you just joking?"
No, most of it's fabricated. I just wanted to say.
But see, here's the thing. Okay, so just before we go to the next subject is that every generation changes. We were all raised the same way. Yeah. My father was the breadwinner. He went to work. My mom took care of us and the kid and my sisters. My father was the breadwinner. They had their specific gender roles, and that's it. What I'm saying is that with every generation, it's going to change. Look at already how much it's changed just now with me and my wife. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say, guys. Things that revolve. So on se calme là. Being number 4 is being violent. Oh boy, I can't speak tonight. Statistically, thanks. Men commit significantly more violent crime than women. True. There are numerous reasons for this, but there are clear links between male instigated violence and the need men have to use aggression and violence to prove their masculinity and bolster confidence in their masculine identity. So
I feel that's full of shit. But
now,
it's just
instead of just so that, because I have a thought here, instead of linking men traditionally do have violent harsher statistics in terms of violent crime, that is strictly due to men have testosterone. What is testosterone and estrogen? It's completely different. Women have estrogen, men have testosterone. We are naturally a more violent. And if you look at it biologically, we were the hunters, we were the gatherers. So it's ingrained in our biology. Now, I'm not going to go into history and biology and anthropology here, but it was ingrained in us as a man. It's ingrained in our DNA in terms of being more violent, if you'd like,
Dominant, yeah.
dominant and violent.
Which I'm going to go back to. I completely disagree with this. I find men who hit women, they should be men should whoever do that. I believe they should be castrated because last time not a lot of people men know how to talk. So the result of violence, and that's full of shit.
Yeah.
Because a couple is supposed to be, hey honey, hey hun, I have something I'm not feeling about this. This is what it is. Because we know, God, do we know a lot of fucking men who slap their wives or girlfriends in the face, and then they go on social media and they pretend everything is okay. And and I just know from the stories, specifically one like that is full of shit. And the fact that men just like, oh yeah, no, I slapped my my wife yesterday, and and she better learn. See, that's the thing I hate. Better learn. Right? I know a lot of men who talk about this. Better learn. I slapped her yesterday. She better learn. I slapped my girlfriend. Better learn. I punched my girlfriend in the face yesterday, so to make sure. Better learn. This is what I hate. See, that's what to me a toxic masculinity is.
Of course. So I mean, listen, I'm going to agree with you on that. Of course. I mean, guys, and by no means am I abdicating violence against women. I've never laid a hand on my wife. I have 4 sisters. Let's just put this: anyone would touch any of them, it wouldn't end. It wouldn't end well. And let's not forget, guys. Like John said, men who get hit by women are too ashamed to admit it. And you know what, guys? Statistically, and even though it's hard to come up with these statistics, there are a lot of women that hit their men because the men are too ashamed. Yes, that's always been a common. Yes, it is. Okay, so it could go both ways here, guys. Okay, so it comes down to sorry, somewhere in the comments before saying that you cannot just deal with your emotions. So yes, predominantly it is a male attribute, but it's becoming more and more a woman thing. And God knows how long this has been happening because it's that shame attached to saying my wife hits me and I take it.
Yeah, so, but you know what, Luigi, I have something interesting to say. Why is it that there's all these women coming out saying they were hit, slapped, physically abused? It's on the media, big stories, whether it's on the media or not. You hear it from people. Why is it that all these women are saying men are hitting, but you don't have any men publicly saying I've been abused by this person? You never hear of a man on the news saying this famous woman beat me up.
Well, just like I just said, it's shame. It's shame. It comes down to the man. Would you? Let me ask you this question, guys. Would you be able to admit if your woman hit you?
I would.
Would you? Would. Ange, would you come out and say it?
Well, you see, that's the thing. You're right.
I would. I don't think I would.
Louis.
Exactly. I know, but the thing is, I wouldn't have to really get to the point to hold it in. I would deal with it. If my wife, whatever girlfriend, would slap me, when it gets to that point, I'd probably walk away. That's what I would get rid of the situation right away. You understand? I wouldn't hold it in, take another 5 slaps for another 5 weeks. I would just immediately walk away.
Yeah. No.
Tom says, sorry, Claudia, it comes from the fact that men are not taught to deal with their emotions. They're taught to suppress. I believe that's at the heart of toxic masculinity. I agree with you, Tom, to a certain extent, is that I see now, because I just see I'm, again, the only father, and I see I'm not fathering the same way my father taught me. I really am not. So, because even though I was brought up that way, I grew up with 4 sisters. So I shared my emotions. So what I'm saying is that it's fastly evolving. It's quickly evolving and changing the way men are behaving and looking and expressing themselves. But yet, it's this toxic masculinity discussion everywhere you turn. And I love what Victoria says too. My hypothesis is that men don't come forward because it's not manly. It's very simple.
And David he
Go ahead,
even said,
Claudio.
I was gonna say what David wrote, like insecurity, men's biggest enemy.
True.
And then also, you can only hit a woman in self-defense. So
Well,
that
Even at that,
yeah. But I know all these comments. By the way, folks, I'm really
really,
impressed
really,
with.
really impressed. Yes, I was going to say
No,
that.
I'm saying I'm really impressed with all your comments. Oh man. So
All right.
that's it. All right, next one. Let's go, folks.
Being dominant. To be preoccupied with power and dominance to a point that it causes harm to others, such as verbal, physical, and online bullying. One study found that over a quarter of men thought they should have a final word in relationships. Over a third of men believed that they had the right to know where their female partner was at all times. Now, I can't say anything against those statistics because I don't know where the statistics came from, right? Because statistics are statistics. You could just throw it up against the wall and hope it sticks. But it's funny. It's funny. Verbal, physical, and online bullying. I mean, you're telling me that women are not online bullying, or young teenagers, young girls.
Of course.
So, like, what's good for the goose is not good for the gander. I don't know. And these statistics, over a third of men believe that they have the right to know where their female partner was at all times. A third of men. Let me ask you. Then
I don't agree with that at all, Luigi.
No, I don't agree with it either. Of course,
a relationship is based on trust.
Okay.
I mean, when you have to have a tracker on your wife or your boyfriend or whatever, there's no point of them being together.
Exactly. Unless it's like at an important event, like, oh shit, where's my wife or girlfriend? Oh shit, but no, like if your wife or girlfriend are saying, Minga, I'm going out with the girls tonight. We're going to whatever these St. Leonard women
How come
go.
you always come out with the St. Leonard accent?
Okay, listen. Okay, that's the only thing that's coming to my head right now. So let's say, like, the girls that want to go for a night out. Okay, and I don't know about you, but I'm like, oh man, I get to have the whole place to myself. Like, she could go out and, because it's a trust thing, right? Because when you go out with your friends and like, hey, babe, I'm gonna come back later, she's gonna say okay, right? Because she knows who you are when you're out. She knows, hopefully she would know your friends too, right? And vice versa. That your girlfriend or wife, they're gonna go out and have fun, but where they're, how they would be, what I'm saying?
Something just clicked. You know what's funny? A third of men believe. How did they do the same question for women? I'd say that probably 2/3 of women would like to know where the men are at.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously.
Dude,
so, but you're going to point to the men. Did you do it to the women that are in relationships?
Yeah.
Because I could tell you, growing up, I could tell you a lot of relationships. Girls, you wouldn't even believe what bro, let me explain to you something. Okay, this is a great story. This is timeless. I used to work downtown Montreal. Okay. We worked in the evening shift. We'd finish work at about 11. We're downtown Montreal. We'd go out literally every night. I was single at the time. We'd go out every night. All right. One of my friends at the time, colleagues, still friends today. He was so, I'm not going to word because it's derogatory, was so whipped by his girlfriend that we would go out. And you know what he would do? He would drive back to Il Perot, downtown to Il Perot, to call her. She would see on the caller ID that he was home. Back in the day, there was no cells. There was hardly. Yeah. Ange, I'm not joking. Drive to Il Perot, Hey, baby, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed. Leave a bro to come back downtown to go out with us.
Does this guy have a year subscription at Shell or what? Honestly, like I don't know.
So literally,
Fuck,
he
man.
worked for gas. Okay,
Yeah.
that's just one story. All right, guys. Isn't that a great story? You guys are in shock. Yes. So you know how many of the shit I saw, guys? You know how much I Tony cheats. He remembers and he knows and he knows exactly who I'm talking about. They told. Oh God, laugh out loud.
Dave and I. Oh man, Dave and
There we go.
I.
Keeps
Dave and
coming
I.
on, eh?
True story. True
Yeah,
story.
Dave and I know a friend similar to that, but we're not gonna get into
All right.
it.
Okay. So there we go. All right,
Oh
guys.
my
We still got we got a bit more to go.
Yeah,
Next,
go ahead.
sexual aggression towards women. Men who conform to toxic masculinity standards are more likely to make sexual comments or sexist jokes to women, commit sexual harassment, accept rape myths, and behave as if they are entitled to women's bodies. I don't even know what to say about this. I mean, everything they said there is, of course. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
acceptable.
For sure.
But my point is, what's the majority of, once again, when it comes to making sexual comments and sexist jokes, how much of that has evolved and changed over time, the way that everything is evolving in society?
I could tell you something.
Sure.
When I go to Milano's, how many of those I hear? Me, this fucking girl, me, my girlfriend, she's hotter than my wife. Palamaron. You know, and
Here we go.
Then you have Trump, who actually said, I grabbed my daughter by the pussy. And
No, he didn't say that. He said,
okay, something along those lines.
grab her by the
You know,
pussy when he was on.
yeah.
Yeah, he was secretly being. Listen, guys, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that this doesn't happen. Obviously, it's
Exactly.
disgusting. It's derogatory. But all
Yeah.
I'm saying is that things are getting better.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm the same. No, I'm not. Forget it.
All right.
but
Well,
but
I
how,
mean, look. Oh, go ahead.
but it's just, how do women talk about men when they're left alone? All the women watching tonight, give us your opinion on this. I'd like to hear
please,
about that.
please go ahead, dude. Actually, I was only gonna say this, but then it comes to the point of bed, sexual roles happen, and things happen in the bedroom. That's fine. That's
Ange,
great.
anything to add to this? I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, no, hold on.
You know-
His girlfriend's watching, so Ange, be careful.
Of course.
No,
We
but
all know.
honestly, what you were saying about the people that adhere to toxic masculinity, which means the people, the juice heads, the people that say, but it's okay to cheat on your girlfriend. You know that.
Yeah.
You don't do it. Me, I do it. You don't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those type of people, of course, they're going to be more
Oh
inclined
my
to
god, those
be
people are
more
the best.
violent, cheat, like those kind of tendencies. I think if they believe in that, when you are what you like, what you think you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's a
Exactly.
very good point. Emily, just to answer your question, she wants to know what exactly we want to know. I would like to know is, when girls are together, when women are together, how do they talk? Or when they're together and they see a handsome man or a well-built man or sexy man, whatever, how do you talk? What would you say? Would you say something that's considered a sexist joke or a sexual comment or commit sexual harassment? Or nowadays, I don't even know the term anymore. It's so loose in terms of sexual harassment. I lay a finger on someone, you sexually harassed me. But classic Claudio, who's
Fucking Peter, man. Shut up, Peter. Shut up.
so yeah. So no, it's a good one. So while we wait for maybe Emily to answer us back, we'll move on to the next
Yeah, go
point. Not displaying emotion. Emotion is treated as being feminine characteristic. Stifling emotion is seen as true manliness. From childhood, males are shamed to conform with the standard that to show emotion is weak and feminine.
Oh boy.
Okay, so here's it again. It's going to go back to my same argument. This may be, yes, in our upbringing, especially in mine, but my father never told me. When I saw my father, he was an emotional man. He cried. My father never told me don't show your emotions. So I don't know. I don't know where these things really come from. I could only speak it in terms of my point of view and my upbringing. My father was an emotional man. I saw him cry. I saw him when he told me he was sad. He would tell me. He never said, "True man, stop crying," or
Yeah, Yeah, and this is the thing, like same thing, like I know a lot of people, especially in our community, right, where they'll be like crying is a form of sin. Like I know someone who, again, they lost their relative, and I went to a funeral. My friend, bro, was breaking down, and his cousin was saying, "Hey, bro, don't cry. You're gonna make your family look weak." And obviously I hate when that happens,
That
and
fucking
I guess
moron.
I know, and a lot of this, I guess, comes from you know these old timers, like like even in films, for example, right? They're like, what are you, women, that you're crying? You
Yeah.
can't cry, and I hate that, because everybody could show emotions, everybody, again, going back to what the heck this podcast is about, we're just laying out our emotions on here, and there was not one negative person yet
Good point.
who's saying, hey, stop showing your emotions, you're weak, so that's it. But again, I still know people who say, oh, don't cry, it makes you look weak, and don't cry, makes me look, you're gonna embarrass me when you do that, that. And I don't want to sound like, I don't want to sound like this, but like, you know that's the old way of thinking, in a way, because today emotions are very big. Men, women, they all go through emotions, depression, anxiety, whatever you want to call it, and everyone needs everyone. So for me, like, I'm totally against what this topic now, because men cry too, you know.
Well,
Uh,
just to add, I love what you brought up, is that the whole reason why we started this podcast is to talk about stuff that are affecting men today. And yes, I just want to go back to that point, because Emily said, to our previous point of sexual aggression towards, I don't know what the exact word in English is, but women can be, for sure, be as déplacés as men when talking about them. Déplacé meaning out of context, or just overboard, and just like some men could be stupid and say, oh, what do they call the cat call when a sexy woman passes by. So merci pour ça, Emily. Tony Cheech says, there's still in certain cultures that adhere to these principles you guys are discussing. Yes, for sure. Oh my God, Cheech, for sure, absolutely. But in the context of which we're talking about, I think we're talking more in terms of Western civilization, and not some other backward thinking countries that I'm not going to say or talk about, because I might end up blacklisted. Anyway, so you, Ange, what do you, in terms of emotion? I mean, he obviously, we share it. And what's your take on this?
Well, like I said, it's interesting to hear that your dad, you said, used to cry, because when I showed you the video of the guy crying about his son, and you told me you cried, I was actually surprised.
Well,
Just out of nowhere, and it's not even someone you know, so I was surprised. Like, with that said, I don't think I've ever seen my dad cry. Maybe sometimes I see him tear up a bit, but I've never seen my dad just break down. Maybe it happened when my grandfather died, which was in 1999. My dad's dad. I don't remember, but the thing is, I've never seen him cry. So, and I'm watching all these mafia movies and everything. They say that crying is weakness. You can get killed for that in the mob, So I've always grown up like that. You can't cry in front of everybody, But now I kind of like changed that. When my grandfather died on my mom's side, I let it go, because there was a lot of other. I found there was a good opportunity because of all the other stuff I had to let out. So I used my grandfather's funeral to let out all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the whole thing being in confinement and all that. Sure. I mean, but what's funny is, bro, I cry over. I watch movies. I fucking cry. My wife looks at me. Is like, are you fucking for real? What the hell's wrong with you?
So you cried when you saw the Notebook, huh?
Probably did cry when I saw the Notebook. Okay.
It's okay. I cried. It's okay. It's okay. I cried. It's okay. I cried at the end of Lord of the Rings Part 1.
Bro, I did cry at the end of Lord of the Rings.
Right.
That's one of my favorite movies.
Yes.
I went and see it alone at the movie theater. That's how much I love these movies.
Actually, number Lord of the Rings Part 3 is my favorite one out of them all. Then the Hobbit trilogies are like whatever.
Okay.
I started crying after A Star Is Born. So
I started crying. You know what? I started crying when one of my ex-girlfriends said, "Babe, do you like The Sopranos?" I'm like, yeah. And then she gave me a gift, The Sopranos box set. And then I was an idiot. I didn't take them with me. But I
Wow.
cried. I cried. Like,
Ma tu sei veramente Bob. Okay, next. This is going to be a good one.
alright, so I'm
Not
gonna-
being a feminist ally.
Oof.
oof.
It is unsurprising that the overly masculine would reject men who identify as the allies of feminists. Research again shows that men engaging in feminist activism are the targets of harassment by men who prescribe to toxic masculinity, as it is perceived as feminine and non-conformist to toxic masculinity. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Here
So
we go.
basically, in order to be a full man, you don't have to support women's rights, right?
This is where you're wrong. Okay, guys, there's the majority of women that disagree with these feminist movements, feminist allies. Okay, majority of women. Why? Because it's all bullshit. Okay. Great example of this is our stupid "I'm a feminist" prime minister that wears Star Wars socks. Fucking leader, prime minister
Wait,
of
hold
Canada.
on. Wait. What? He wears Star Wars socks?
Yeah, he's done it. He's been caught. Yeah.
I don't know.
At UN meetings, the United
He wore
Nations.
Star Wars.
Yeah, right.
Guys, come on. It's me you're talking about. Are you serious?
He wore Star Wars socks.
Okay.
I can't do this anymore.
So now, here's my problem. So you don't, you're not a feminist ally. Sorry, Claudio. We lost Claudio for. Here's the highlight.
Oh man.
Okay,
He drank
so
water from a box and he wore Star Wars.
bro, this stuff, it's endless.
It's a
Endless,
golf,
endless stupidity. Endless.
Oh, I can't do
Okay,
this.
so
I can't do
So-
this anymore.
if you don't agree when the majority of women that are against these feminist movements that they're saying that it's not helping our cause, so let me explain something. So if I understand this, if I'm as a man, I don't agree with feminist allies. I'm not consider myself a feminist just because I have to adhere to their rights or whatever, or to what they say. I'm a toxic male. Guys, I have four sisters. Do you think that I for 1 second, though I do not believe that my four sisters have the same right as any man? Why do you have to be a feminist? First of all, what the fuck does that even mean? Someone explain this to what the fuck is a feminist?
I'll tell you what it means. Means that you wear Star Wars socks to the UN and drink water from a box. That's what it means. Again, you're quoting a PM who says, I drink water from a box.
Okay.
Louis, think about this. Why are you even getting stressed over what the PM is saying?
You know why, bro? Because this man sets a precedence for pop culture, for the way people think. So when you have this idiot saying the things he does like that, and that people kind, not humankind, or God, I could be here till tomorrow morning, bro. The stupidity that he's done. I'm gonna need another podcast. The computer's gonna die. I'll be here all night. We're gonna have to pull an all-nighter. I'm gonna have to skip work tomorrow. All I'm saying is that it does matter because he's the face, he's the image of our country. And then you see in this that he gives purpose and gives rights and gives meaning to these feminine. Why is there no masculinist? Why is there no masculinist allies? We don't have problems. Guys, come on, man. They make it seem like here in Canada and in North America and Western cultures that now we're still grabbing women by the hair and bringing them out of a caveman. Come on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Thompson says, I consider myself a feminist and a humanist because I believe everyone needs to give each other a hand up, but women generally require about 30% more help.
Tom, up until now, I really agreed with a lot of stuff that you said, but I don't agree with that. I don't.
Really? Okay.
Absolutely, because I don't believe that there's pay inequality. I don't. And just like the man that I admire so much, Jordan Peterson says, pay inequality doesn't exist. And we were talking about Crowder, and he's talked about it so many times. I don't believe it exists. Not today's. If you take the same job,
Okay.
me, I'm a mortgage rep. My colleagues were half. There's 4 or 5 women out of the team of 12. They make the same amount of money, if not more.
Okay.
They're not paid any less.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking about, here's the myth of inequality and pay inequality.
Okay.
Here's the men will automatically do more dangerous jobs, which are higher paid.
Mm-hmm.
Men will be more of a CEO because it more time away from the family. So automatically men are going to make more money. Majority of women bear children, so they cannot be CEOs of a company, or a company that they choose to say, my role as a mother is more important than my career on the most part. Okay? So there within, yeah, of course there's an inequality, but it's because the men will do the more dangerous jobs, as I just expressed, that there's different genders and there's different gender roles.
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling me what? For example, I did a mortgage for a man that was a specialist in installing windows on high rises. His salary was close to $100,000. You're telling me that a woman wouldn't be able to do that job and they were going to pay her the same money? But what is the likelihood of a woman wanting to do that? Traditionally, how many women are going to engineering?
True.
You know what, though, Luigi?
many-
It's funny. I actually disagree with you. No, but seriously, I
Go
mean,
ahead.
there is inequality with the paid. Like, okay, well, actually, I don't want to say names and everything, but like, especially in the radio sector, and the men being paid more than the women when they have almost the exact same role. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, just it's there, Luigi. Look at the news. It's there. You know, they're getting paid less. You know, so I do think there's still a long way to go with the feminism movement. It's definitely gonna. I think the next big movement is probably gonna be the feminist movement, in my opinion. Do I see there being a problem? Yes. Do I think men should help women in pushing awareness for it? I think we should absolutely do that, and I have been doing that. When it was International Women's Day, I started sharing women's posts, and they were like, "Wow, a man promoting Women's Day! How awesome is that?" They were amazed.
Okay, I don't see anything wrong with that. But once again, I'm gonna have a point to pick. I don't believe that there is inequality in terms of pay. There's different pays for different types of jobs, and traditionally, men are going to do certain types of jobs, and women are going to be certain types of job. Let me just add, I'm so happy. I haven't seen Taj in so long. Taj is my old hockey buddy. Being a feminist is not. Thanks for tuning in, by the way, Taj. I didn't even know you watched our show. Being a feminist is not radical or derogatory. I never said it was. It means you believe in the social, economic, and political equality of women. I do, and I believe we do have it. That's all. I don't see. There's nothing wrong with it. All I'm saying is I believe for the most part we do have social, economic, and political equality of women.
Tom had
So I'm
something
saying.
to say. I don't know if you see Tom's question.
Yeah, he goes psychopaths are overrepresented in the CEO class. So let's just say they aren't a good representation of men as a whole.
Is that true?
It is true that it is. It's been proven that men or CEOs, or predominantly in the Fortune 500 companies, predominantly men, that a CEO does have the same attributes and traits psychologically, biologically, as psychopaths. Yeah, it is true. It's been proven. Yes.
Damn.
They just don't kill people, right? Because what's the difference between a psychopath and a murderer, or psychopathic murder, is that one will still feel those feelings but will not act upon them, and will not kill or act upon those feelings. So yes, that has been true. I have read and research on that. So so anyway, that's my opinion. That's our opinion on that, and we could disagree on it. Maybe I'm wrong. I never said that I'm always right. This is just my opinion, and this is coming from a guy that has 4 sisters, guys.
Yeah.
And coming from a married man that I've never once tell my wife what to do and not do. Every decision she's made, She's made on her own. She said, my career is not my priority. My priority are my children and raising my children. I'll take care of my career after. You do what you need to do for the family. I will take care of the kids. So never once did I say, that's your role. I don't want you to go back to work full time, whatever. Never. So let's before I get any hate mail, on se calme. On se calme. Okay.
There we go. All right. So next one.
Yeah. Risk taking. Connected to male dominance, toxic masculinity encourages taking risks to demonstrate dominance. Men who buy into this are more likely to take extreme measures such as perpetuate violence, drive dangerously, gamble, and abuse drugs. I'll let you guys go on.
Okay. So I want to break this down first. So first, I want to go with risk taking, right? So I mean, depends what the risk taking is, right? If you have a good, if you have a job that's going to pay you more, but that's going to make you see less of your girlfriend, wife, or family, but in the end, it's good because you get money because you can finally start affording things. Yes, but if you for the other things that you mentioned, I don't know about it. For example, I will look at it in my way. Like when I have a girlfriend, and then I get this really like awesome gig to work on a TV show. Yeah, for sure I'm gonna take because because we would be struggling a little bit with money, but this is gonna solve our ways of paying for stuff. Of course I'm gonna get it.
I really like. I'm sorry. I love what you're saying. Go ahead. Sorry.
Thank you. So but then if you're gonna risk on gambling and alcoholism and all the other stuff you're saying, I'm like, no, not really. For me, risk taking for me is, let's say I have a job, and I know the pay is not very well, versus a job that I know I'm going to get paid for very well. But what is the long term? I'm going to take that risk. I'm going to jump on it because that's what I want to do. That's I want to make sure. Okay, look, when I get into a relationship, I want to make sure that my girlfriend and I are going to be, even though she has a job, but for me, I don't want to be dependent on my girlfriend always for money, so I want to make sure that we're okay. I want to make sure that, hey, you know what, babe, I got this awesome new contract for a show, whatever. And this is it. It might end next week. It might end in a year, in 2 years, but I know I went out there and I know I want to take it because that's what I want. And for me, as I mentioned, that's risk taking. Yeah. Right. So when you hear the word risk taking, you have to think of it as job wise. That's the way I think of it.
Well, Andrew, how do you see this statement? Because it's all mishmash. The statement.
To me, Luigi, I kind of agree with it. Men are usually the risk takers. Why? Because at the end of the day, it's almost like in the animal kingdom. We always have to do something to impress our women. You understand? So we think, if we gamble, maybe we'll make all kinds of money, and then I can finally buy a house, I can finally buy that ring. I'll leave this stupid job, and I can find a better one. Which sometimes you say, "Oh my God, that was a bad decision." But at the end of the day, it's always this fantasy. It's this fantasy about impressing your girlfriend, impressing your friends, being rich, having everything, being liked, having attention. It's all risk taking, and what do you call it? Toxic masculine, somebody who's like a juice head, somebody who listens to all these 10 statements and lives by it. At the end of the day, they hit a wall. You know
exactly.
what I mean?
For sure.
So it's like they say, not everything that glitters is gold. It's exactly that. You might see somebody, they have all the clout in the world, they have all the money in the world, they have all the women in the world, but deep down inside, there's something that they still have to work on.
They lack.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a hidden thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing is, what besides perpetuate violence, but you're telling me that a risk taker, so women don't drive dangerously, women don't gamble, and women don't abuse drugs.
They do, but I'm just saying not as much, right? It's not really.
Well, do you show me statistics?
No, I don't have the statistics in front of me.
No, I know, but so why does it have to be only if these are not common? We lost Claudio for a second. That's fine. but these are not common traits. They're not exclusive traits to a man.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I
I'm
know,
just
but
saying it tends to be more men. I don't have the statistics, but I'm sure there's much more men gamblers than women. I mean, a man's most likely to probably throw all the money in stocks to somehow make a miracle happen,
yeah,
or go to a
yeah.
casino, or take risks, like leave their job. You know what I mean? A woman will probably say, you know what, I'll only leave my job. Well, I'll have an example. My girlfriend, she quit her job because now she has another job and she's been working at that job. Whereas us, we just say, you know what, let's risk it all. Let's go start a business. You know, so
But we see. But then again, but that could be misconstrued, right?
mhm.
You see, that could. I'm going to use myself as an example, okay? But before I do, I just want to see a few comments here. People who lack empathy tend to be to do better. And okay, women are often discriminated against because when a promotion contest is between a woman or a man, there's a perception that the man will be more committed to the job, where women will start having kids. Guys, listen. Having been in the corporate world for 26, 27 years, I could say, number one, it's changed a lot. And number two, not many HR, not many companies are going to let you get away with discriminating against women because you think you're not going to give her a job because you think she's going to get pregnant, right? You can't even ask a woman, do you have plans to have children within the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years? So Tony Chi says, hey, let's not compare stocks to the casino. It's a good point. What I wanted to say was almost 4 years back, I want to get your opinion on this and some people watching, okay? I was at a job in the financial field, bored. Okay, I want to do something more. Prior to that, just to put you into context, I went on my business on my own, didn't do well. I took a risk. I took the risk because I wanted a better life for me and my family. It didn't work out well, and I have no shame in saying it, okay? Went back into the financial field, had a very good job after having gone through this. Had that good job. Then went back into banking, had a very good job. 3 years in, I say, I want to better myself. I know I could do something better. I want to risk. What did I do? I left a comfortable job that paid me a very nice salary to go into zero base salary, 100% commission job. My wife thought I was crazy. 3, 4 years later, I'm not going to go into numbers. I'm doing fairly well. My question to you is, was that my toxic masculinity making me take a risk? I had 2 kids, 2 kids, guys. 2 boys.
No.
A mortgage, 2 boys, and a wife and a family to take care of. So did that make me careless? Did that make me...
No, you wanted something more. So, it came later because let's face it, this happens to everybody, right? Everybody's gonna get tired of their current job, whether if it pays well, right? Because they always want more. They always want to be satisfied. They always want more. So for me, when this question is asked, I think that it's rather BS because it can happen to anyone, right? So no, it's not toxic masculinity what you've done. You just wanted something better, because you knew yourself you weren't happy, and then eventually, your family was going to find out that you're not happy doing this job, but at least yourself, you've noticed, you're like, hey, you know what, I'm not happy with this job, I want to do something else, and you did, and now look at you.
Okay.
Besides having an abandon, but it's just and again, it's gonna happen to Ange. It happens to me. It happens to Cheech. It happens to Thompson. It happens to everybody watching.
Well, Cheech is an osteopath, so he's okay.
Okay, but I'm saying one day, me and Gay might go through, but that's it. So it happens to everybody, men, women.
So, last point, guys, and Thanks so much, guys, for all the comments. This is a good one. Not engaging in household chores and caregiving. We were
Oh,
talking about this off air.
yeah.
Again, housework and child rearing are seen as feminine qualities.
Mhm.
Being asked to do a feminine deemed task, such as housework, or worse, a man being criticized by a woman for not cleaning appropriately, is often interpreted as an emasculating assault and provokes a masculine overcompensation response.
I find
Steve, ils vont
okay,
loin là.
I find that bullshit because look, as you mentioned before, it's 2021. Everything is divided. It's not only that the women have to stay home and cook and clean, and men go go out of work. Everybody is divided. And if like let's say your wife, sorry, your wife don't like the way you clean, right? Is that going to be a toxic masculine on you? No, she just said, Louis, I don't like you didn't clean that, you messed up. She's just telling you. So how does that have to do with toxic masculinity?
You missed the spot.
Yeah, you missed a spot. How does that want to do? How does that
There-
make it a toxic masculinity? It
There
doesn't.
shouldn't be any discussion about that. I mean, a man could do that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He shouldn't be ridiculed for doing it. Look, at the end of the day, trust me, your wife or girlfriend is going to come to you and say, "Look, how are we going to divide the tasks? Because we all know it's a lot of work having a house, kids, whatever.
Exactly.
Let's sit down and decide who's going to do what, and that's it. If I have to do something that you're scheduled to do, so be it. Maybe you're sick that day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just come together, and if sometimes you have to make compromises. That's an important sacrifice, guys. Sacrifice. My dad tells
Exactly.
me in a relationship, sacrifice. You're gonna remember that. It's very important.
Well, you see, once again, but first of all, Tom, thank you so much. Yes, I do truly believe when we do disagree that we could have a thoughtful and respectful dialogue, and I appreciate you saying that. I really do. Once again, it comes down to, guys, all these points seem so antiquated, especially this one. It's so antiquated nowadays. You're telling? Listen, we talked about this off air. My wife and I have a very predetermined tasks of what we do. For the most part, she handles the general cleaning. She does all the cooking, the cleaning of the house. I take care of outdoors. I pick up the kids, drive them to school. I do activities with them. We all have our place, but that makes it work for both of us. And my wife is not a pushover. So okay, so let's first of all put that in. Let's get that out of the way. But so does that make, because of the fact that I do predominantly male things, that I'm a toxic male? I don't know. Lastly, Tom says a better term than toxic masculinity would be toxic ego, because that's something both men and women have. You know what, Tom? That's such a perfect. You ended it perfectly.
Exactly. So,
that's what my whole point of all this was.
Yeah. So I know I hate toxic masculinity for myself. Well, for myself, because I find it's useless, and and I couldn't agree with Tom more. Tom is right. And I believe, like as Ange said, everything is divided. And that's why like our dads and grandparents back in the day, they were having burnouts because their grandfathers were the ones that were doing almost everything, and they had such an old mentality, like, oh, men have to do everything, men have to do this, men have to do this, but it just, what the heck, so today we, in a way, we have it easier, because today, us men, we could talk to our loved ones. We could tell them what's going on. We could tell them, hey, I don't think this is right, this is wrong. And if they get mad at you or if they ignore you, well, then they're not for you. But today there's something that people are lacking, and that is conversation. Yeah. That is what with all the social media that's going on, with everything, communication, conversation are the key to make a strong relationship.
Thoughtful and respectful dialogue. Tom said it perfectly.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, my last words, Tom said it all for me. I don't believe toxic masculinity exists. I really don't. I just believe that toxic egos exist. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. And to conclude, like, you know what I mean? Honestly, I want to say something. the Me Too movement, to me, is a response to all these years of the toxic masculinity, right? Like all this time that they were doing this,
Thanks.
men were doing it, and like, you know, all this abuse happening and stuff like that, and this, like the way they had their ego and stuff like that. I think now it's the movement of the women to come out, and because a lot of them were scared to talk about this, but you know what I mean. Now that I think the Me Too response is a response to toxic masculinity being accepted.
Yeah, very. You know what? Very well said, man. Very well said. And tonight, I think that, we narrowed it down to what we think toxic masculinity is. Again, you know, we're not God's gift to, to solving problems, but what we've been talking about is from our perspective, from our point of view, from what we feel about it. And there we go. And again, thank you to everybody
Yes.
who's been responding, whether it was on Facebook or YouTube. You guys are just, everyone's fucking amazing. Yeah.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
There's so many
Thank you.
interactions, so many comments,
Yeah.
so many
More to come.
thoughts and questions. It was really fantastic. This was a great show.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
it was, and more to come. So now I guess we do our plugins.
Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead, Ange.
And
Guys, you could see me at the Ange TV show on YouTube. I have a show called The Unknown. We do it. It's a bit different than what we do it here. We talk about mysteries, and we try to ask questions and try to investigate and solve them. I also have guests on my channel. It's a great place to be, guys, just like Claudio's channel and also Luigi's channel. So thank you very much, guys, for your support, and have a good night.
perfect. Yes.
I'll make you go last, Claudio, because you're going to bring it home. I echo that sentiment, guys. Check out Ange's such a variety of subjects and things. It's a great channel. For me, Agree to Disagree show at Agree to Disagree show on Facebook and on YouTube. We discuss current events, politics, and social issues. So check it out. I have different guests from all walks of life every week. And tomorrow night, I think I decided to go solo because I need to get a lot of stuff off my chest.
It's okay. Yeah.
Perfect.
Thanks,
All
everybody.
right.
Thanks, everybody, again.
Perfect. And yeah, folks, the Dirty Four presents Dirty Sanchez is going to be moved now to Monday nights at 7:30. So it's a franglais show with myself, Joel Laflamme, and Peter Bone. So we do that Monday nights now instead of Tuesdays. Mondays at 7:30 p.m. And you can always catch Dirty Four Sunday nights at 8:30. And also when we are given the green light to do comedy shows again, I will let you know. But folks, I put all of our podcasts are down here at the bottom. So just subscribe, and even subscribe to our page, folks, because when things open up again, we're going to meet in person, and we're going to see who's going to pass out first from all the stress we'll be talking about. Yeah. So there we go. So ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all of us, thank you very much. We're going to be back here in 2 Wednesdays. Louis, do we have a guest for episode 5, or is it still up in the air?
It's still up in the air. We will see.
Perfect. So that's it. So, ladies and gentlemen, and also tune into all these 2 other guys on their own shows. They're amazing. And Sunday night on the Dirty Four, we're gonna have a Luciciliano Raggiato all the way from Toronto. Have yourselves a good night, and folks, stay safe. If you need to talk, go ahead and talk. Do not tell yourself that I can handle it, because you need to let out emotions and people, and you need to talk to people, because we need to support each other.
Yeah.
Good night, and see you in 2 Wednesdays.
Take
Ciao.
care, guys. Ciao.
Good night, everyone.